Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill.
Happy Thursday.
Dude, you gotta warn me when there's new music, man.
It showed up today. Like we can now share videos as part of Restream's dashboard. So
Dude,
I thought I'd try it out.
that was pretty slick, I gotta say. I was not expecting it. Yeah, I've had a pretty quiet morning so far. I've been doing some writing. We'll talk about that in a second. So I hop in here and I'm like a yeah. It's a Dead Mouse 5 concert, or am I saying that right? It's a Dead Mouse or Dead Mouse 5.
I think it's Dead Mouse, but
dude, how are you? What's going on?
Good.
Catch up.
Michelle liked it too. Nice intro. Good morning.
Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah.
I get to see Michelle's daughter tomorrow, and I'm super excited about it because I think it's been a year-ish, something like that. So yeah, so I'm super excited. But yeah, good morning. That flashed up for a second. I think it was Mike, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, how was yesterday for you?
It was good. Overall, it was good. I got everything done I needed to do. I took an hour off right in the middle of the afternoon to handle some personal business. So I didn't actually get done when I came back until about 4:20. So I'm counting that as a win because I literally took 1 to 2 o'clock out of my day and then came back. So, and I still tried to get done at 4. I just couldn't quite get it across the finish line. So,
yeah, some of these days, right? And this is normal, right? I mean, this is part of it. But some of these days you're going to feel like you're really, really busy, and then you're going to end the day and feel like you got nothing done. That's kind of how I felt about yesterday. Okay. Let me move this thing down just a little bit so that way it doesn't look like I'm just looking at nobody. I need to work on my camera etiquette. Yesterday was a good day. New coaching client, worked with him. I had my coaching call, had the funnel call, and that was about it. Didn't really get a whole lot else done, but like Wednesdays are always kind of my pack day. And so I woke up early this morning and knocked out the one of 2 sections of the course. So that is done and in the books. So later today, I need to get my Sherpa done, and I need to get the second part of the course done. I don't know if that's going to happen today. It might be tomorrow morning before we do BIL and before we go to the zoo.
Okay.
But, yeah, I've got some. I would have had more time, but I've had to shuffle some stuff around for like other projects and client work and stuff. So I have an interview with a closer here at 10. I have a coaching call with a client at noon. I have a call with a good buddy at 2, which isn't really work, but just more kind of catch up. And then call with a prospect at 3, and then I'll be done at 4. So.
Good. That's good. Well, I like that 4 is kind of just like the expected, what we shoot for. It's just like 5, though. You don't always hit 5. Like 5 was the thing, but 5 was when you were supposed to stop. So, or whatever that number is for you.
It feels so strange to be done at 4 and to try to make that the consistent thing, because what happens is in the back of my head, I'm kind of like, I should be working, right? Like other people are working, and it's like obviously light outside and too hot to go outside and do anything. Why wouldn't I just work? So I think for like next week and other weeks and stuff like this, I might make my 4 to 5 time about writing or reading or some kind of structure thing, because it kind of bothers me that, Monday was awesome because Alice and I just played cards, and then Tuesday I think we played Guitar Hero. But yesterday we didn't really do anything. So like I just had this time, and it was kind of like, do I read? Like what is defined as work kind of thing. So I need to be a little bit more structured if I'm going to build in that time away, so that way I actually use it productively and not just spend 45 minutes being like, what's the best use of this time? Let's make a pros and cons list.
Yeah, I've been reading in that time slot. What I've been, on purpose, knowing, because the reason I told you that last week was that, you had to fill it with something, is because I knew I was going to have to. So I had a book ready, for 4 o'clock. The 4 to 5 is not the hardest for me. It's more like the 7 to 8, actually. Like after dinner, And then,
Oh,
like I think if stuff just comes up. I've had enough time away from it now where it's like, oh.
that happens to me as well. Thankfully, the dinner and after dinner to bedtime routine is so. It's like, well, yeah, it's tried and true, right? And so I don't really ever go back to work after dinner because it's like family time and all that stuff. So it's nice, right? Because otherwise, I think I would feel obligated to do it. But what happens for me is when I go to journal each night, I'll come up with like 4 or 5 little bitty things, right? Send this invoice, follow up with this person, do this. So for a long time, I would try to like keep that out of my head, like just focus on the journal, focus on the journaling, right? Ask the questions. And then I decided, it's there, it's bubbling. So let's put it into the system and get it out of my head and into the system. Yeah. And so now what I do is when those work things pop up now, I write them down in the journal and then I come in here after the journaling and put them on the whiteboard. So that way I'm reminded to do them, because if it's not in front of you, you will forget, guys. Like no one is a steel trap at all. And I thought I was, knowing that other people weren't, which is just stupid. So
yeah, luckily I know my shortage of memory cells, so I go straight to the whiteboard. How I around it. I'm still not perfect at that either. I still will pick up a project late sometimes and be like, oh no, but I gotta do this tonight. I just gotta. It's in there, and the creative juices are like flowing big time. So I just gotta knock this out while it's there. But most of the time, I just put it on the whiteboard. It goes in the system. Like last night, I went to bed at 8:00 last night. Like I was spent.
That's amazing.
It was awesome. I slept from 8 till 6 this morning. So
I spent a lot of time yesterday talking with Melissa about how I wanted to become more of like a morning person, getting up earlier and stuff like that. And excuse me. And then last night went to bed at like 11. Is that true? I wanted to go to bed about 10:30, but I think I fell asleep on the couch until about 11:30, and then got up and went to bed. So it was early for me, but not as early as I want to be if I'm going to be trying to like shift to more mornings. So it's a work in progress.
Yep. Cool.
What do you got on the calendar today?
So I've got some client work. I'm going to be doing some video production for someone, a friend of mine. And then I've got I'm updating the last 5 days in my 30-day group to be more shifted towards communication, and that way I can make that content camp offer. And that'll make sense coming out of the content camp. Because right now it's like you get to the end of it and it's like, hey, here's this content camp. So I want to make it more of a flow of what's happening. So,
do you think you do that at the ending, or do you think you do that at the beginning, so that way people are coming in there thinking about content and then thinking about it,
well,
hopefully see some progress, and then it's like, would you like more help?
Well, tell me, because I don't think I should lead with it, but I can see a case for bringing it up at the beginning, but not necessarily because the way it works, I have 30 days of emails. Each day is 1 to 2 minute video with a little lesson and a piece of homework. So the whole 30 days, you just have a little kind of nudge of something, right? And I've structured them into weeks. And so week 1 is about habits. It's just like, this is why it's important to have accountability and habits. And day 1's this, day 2's this, right? So it's getting you soaked into the group and really into the group. And then week 2, it's about distractions, a lot of other things that hurt us and kill production and kill effectiveness. And then week 3 is about delegation. It's about, okay, now that you're in habits, now you know some things that are causing you issues that you might probably outsource and delegate. And then so week 4 was going to be about communication. Okay, now that you've got your day in order, you've got stuff going, you've got delegation, you're outsourcing things, now it's to get really effective at communicating. That's going to be like your superpower. And then at the end of that, it's like, so are you ready to take this to the next level? Check out Content Camp, where you communicate with your customers and you can, blah, blah, blah.
Can I ask you why it's not more directly marketing focused?
What's that?
The course itself. Yeah. Because man, we spend a lot of time talking about this, and that your people come to you for the communication and the marketing stuff and everything else like that. Mm-hmm. And then you have this 30 days accountability course that helps people get more done. Mm-hmm. But it would seem like it should be marketing driven or marketing focused, because you're a marketing and communications guy. So maybe that's the play. That's the niche of like, hey, I've got everybody I know struggles with like getting their marketing deadlines hit and building out their, content and strategies and stuff like that. So I put together a course, shows you how to do that, helps you accomplish and put some mileage down the road at the end of it. We'll see if there's more on the wish list that you want, and maybe I can help with it.
Right. Well, the reason I initially started it this way, and because I totally like the idea, because it's a proven commodity, right? So people do, because they create groups to do that. I think the reason I liked this setup was because it was so low friction. It would be easier to get people in, knowing that I was going to help them accomplish something, and I was going to talk about my stuff, which is marketing.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm not saying to not do that, but I'm just saying you could focus it a little bit more around like the marketing and marketing messaging or branding and stuff like that, because then the whole thing becomes prompting, right? Because then I think you could do a lot to front load around like, hey, look, here are some of the stuff that people come in here to build, right? Lead magnets, content plays, funnels, automations, and stuff like this, right? And so throughout the whole thing, you're dropping ideas about things that they could be doing, right? Drip campaigns, landing pages, all this stuff.
Right.
So they come in there with an agenda, and they pick their agenda. They're working throughout the week or throughout the month, and then at the end of it, it's like, hey, did you see anything else in this list that you would like some help with? Well, yeah, lead magnets. I've never been able to get one to convert. Okay, would you like some help? Because that's kind of the next step of this thing. And it's more focused, right?
Yeah. What do Mike and Michelle think? I'm curious what their opinion is on something like that. Because I like the format of performance being the root somehow of the group. I can totally see it being, the shift being more marketing focused. I'm wondering if maybe I'm not sure why I'm so attached to this model, because I really feel like this is a good entry into like super low friction. Like, I'm not here to sell you marketing, but guess what? I am doing marketing. This is what I'm going to talk about. But what I am here to do is help you cross a finish line this month. And then I'm about marketing, and you get to see me at work, because I'm going to be showing my own work as my example. So it's like, it's not on the nose, but it's very, very obvious what I'm here for. I don't hide any of it. It's part of my weekly calls. At the end, they ask. So it's just not a marketing group per se. So I don't know. I'm not sure why I'm so attached to that being the best way to do it. You know what? Part of it, though, I think is the fact that I am very contrarian in my thinking, just with people, and everyone has a themed group. And so maybe some of that's stuck in my mind. Like, I don't want to be another person in just a themed group.
So let's put it this way. So let's say that you put your 11 people into the group, because I think that was the goal, right? To get 11 people in there each month, right? And you leave it as wide open as it is. You're going to get probably some people who are not marketers and don't really have anything about content or messaging in their role. And are you expecting them to go out and get the marketing department and bring them in and talk to you from there?
Right. That's a good point. Because from a targeting standpoint.
Yeah, you're making it a little bit harder, and also so think about it like this, right? You've got this like swath of like area that you're really good at, right? Like the marketing, messaging, and then you've also got this other group of like getting things done and being productive and everything else like this, and you cram these two things together, which is awesome, right? Because when you can't like come up with like a brand new niche all on your own, then taking two, smashing them together, you have like a ready defined niche. So why not just be the guy who is like the most productive marketer on the planet?
Right.
And so that way, the only people that are getting into this group are people who have marketing focus, right, in their roles and stuff like that. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a really fair argument. So
do you want to come out of a month of 11 people taking up your time and working with them and stuff like this, and only having 3 marketers in there who might want your content bootcamp?
Right. I get it. Well, I think it's a lot like, yeah, no, you're right. That's a good point.
Thank you. Because it's all about what you're lead generating with this free group, right?
Yeah.
So the purpose of it is to generate well-qualified leads, and well-qualified leads for you, for the content camp, and for the individual consulting. It's marketing driven. So when you let other people in here, it's great, and they probably get some value out of it and stuff like that. But I think that you should be shooting for 11 marketing people to be entering this group. Other people can come and join and stuff like this, and you leave it open, but you make it, hey, like, this is about marketing, because it's the first thing that falls off of every busy person's to-do list. So I'm going to show you how to get big stuff done, how to schedule your day, so that way you're not always at ends. You don't have a to-do list that's a mile long, and you feel like you're hitting all the stages in your business correctly: the sales part of it, the marketing part of it, and then the delivery part of it. I think that's way more appealing than let me just show you like one goal, and I'll help you out like how to do it.
You're right. Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome, man. Absolutely. Because that's the struggle. Like, how do you prioritize all these different competing hats that you have to wear, especially, and this might not be applicable for you, because I think that you're trying to be more upriver from the people that I'm trying to talk to, which is fine. Right. But like, everybody that I talk to is wearing like multiple hats. They're the salesperson, they're also the delivery person, they're also the marketer and stuff like that. Yeah. And they're all frustrated because it's just like, how do I have enough time in the day? Because they haven't gotten to the part where they actually own their time yet. So it's always a struggle when you don't own your own time and you have demands on it. So
totally get it, for sure. And I don't know if I'm upriver, but I'm definitely I'm a different size business where the roles are more clearly defined.
Sure. Yeah. I really want to help like the solopreneur, right? You know, like the consultants who love what they do and really just want to help their clients, but like don't really want to do the whole sales thing. Cool. Let me show you how to do that, because I can.
Yep. Love it.
Cool.
Yeah. So that changes a little bit of my list then, because I've been doing some list digging, and I have been looking at the right groups of people, but I haven't been looking at the right
label.
Yeah, I'll say title necessarily, because I've been looking at anybody in the executive part of the team, which is I think probably the two that I really want to focus on are the marketing person, whatever that title becomes, and the founder, owner, CEO.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. How are you going about the list building? Because I know that your bill bet for this week, and it's Thursday. Make every day Thursday.
Tuesday was a Thursday for me. I did a good job. Yesterday, not so much on that. It was on other things. I had other blocking and tackling I had to knock out. Today is going to be a Thursday. So it'll be good. It'll be good. I'm not in any sort of stress mode about it. I feel like I'm going to get it done, and I'll have something to show you on Friday for sure. Cool.
Do you need to? So how are you building your list? Can you talk about it here yet, or?
I'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
I'm experimenting with a couple things. I'm doing some LinkedIn filtering using their Sales Navigator stuff. That's a good way to start, I think, because it just throws back a bunch of stuff. But the challenge there for me, I think a lot of people have this challenge. So if you have some insight on that, is titles are so all over the map. So,
I don't do any filtering based upon titles in LinkedIn.
Which is so. Then, how do you filter for a title on LinkedIn without titles, like roles or keyword?
I do more about roles, and for me, like, I always want to start at the highest level, right? So like, I'm always looking for like CXO, partner, director, so I don't really go in there looking for somebody specifically in the marketing department, because I know that if I can have good rapport with the owner, and the owner says, hey, you need to talk to John, the marketing person will then talk to me. Right. And then you've also got some rapport with like the actual decision maker, that you can go back to in a really well done introduction to the person you need to be talking to, because, you might be talking to the kind of owner who really wants input and voice in every decision made. And, in worst case scenario is they say, hey, I don't do that. You need to talk to Bill. Well,
so I would love to talk to Bill. Because I've been a person in the role, obviously, of the person I'm trying to reach, which is the CMO or the marketing director, whatever that is. Most of those people have budgets and they can make their own decisions around what they spend on. So I don't have to go to the owner to get the right. Yeah. But the types of businesses and organizations I'm trying to work with typically are cause-driven type Schedule B organizations, which means that the owner has a really heavy investment into how marketing dollars get spent, because it's typically a passion project or something like that. So I think it could be a little different that way. So it wouldn't be bad to reach the owners or the CEO, but I think I'm still focused on the marketing people specifically, because they're gonna have it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it depends upon how the company is structured, but like, with you being the guy who wants to go after all these Schedule B companies and stuff like this, that's more hoops you have to jump through, right? And it's more to give back. So if you can be that guy and you're reaching out to the CEO, right, of like, hey, look, I understand your passion because I share it a little bit, and the fact that I really only want to work with companies who are doing these kinds of things that you are. I don't know if this is part of your focus or maybe someone else's in your company, but I market for people who are Schedule B companies who are frustrated with X, concerned with Y, and irritated with Z.
Right.
Do you have, are you the right person to talk to, or would that be somebody else in your organization?
Right.
Worst thing that's going to happen is they say, you got to go talk to Tim. Well, I guess the worst thing that's going to happen is they ignore it.
Yes. So that was my question, actually. I should let you finish your sentence. I feel like that is a higher likelihood of no feedback, no response than someone in the marketing department, because the CEO has so much more to deal with.
Maybe, right? I mean, bless you. I mean, there is something to be said for, you might get, I don't know if that's true, because so here's my question: is that head trash? Is that limiting? Yeah. So
I don't know. I'm just asking. Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing that everybody hates when their marketer says it to them. We can test it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll just test it. That's how I was already test it. Yeah. Yesterday. Oh, speaking of, gosh, I had an amazing call, and I'm just going to tell you guys this. You write this down and soak it in. Right. It's really, really simple advice. But I talked to this guy who does drop shipping, and he makes 15 to 20 million a year drop shipping, and he's 25 years old
now.
Yeah, right now. And he's in Vancouver, Canada. I know you'll want to talk to him. I'll eventually hook you up, John, so you can just pick the brain. But he is mega busy because he got so good at it. Now he has a coaching course on teaching other 20-year-olds how to ship, blah, blah, blah. And he's making $5 million off of that. So the dude is crushing. And all he does is Facebook and YouTube ads to a landing page, to a call. That's all he does.
Yeah.
And he said, Facebook is a superpower, because what happens is, he said, if your offer is so dialed in and you know your people so well, he said, you can literally not target at all on Facebook anymore. You can put the entire United States, and he said, and put some money in. And Facebook is so good at figuring out who you're trying to speak to and who responds. They will dial in the audience for you now. He's like, you don't have to worry about target. He goes, my monkey could run media buys on Facebook now. Your job is to dial in the offer and the landing page. And he said that the key is, he said two things. He said, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise, because I've done this 100 times now. He said, you have to speak to the internal existential problem of someone that they're facing in the headline of the ad, because you have 1.7 seconds on Facebook for people to check you out. He said, so it does have nothing to do with, I want more sales, or I need better marketing. He said, you have to know what that person is going through and what's eating them up inside, like their own personal fears. Like during COVID, he said one of the big things that they've been testing that's really been working is, I'm afraid I'm failing my company. I'm afraid that I'm failing my whole team as an owner. I'm afraid that I'm not good enough to make this thing last. Like those are the ads that are working, because everyone else is like, hey, you want to make $1,000 or $1 million in the next 6 months? Hey, you want to blah, blah, blah? He goes, those are garbage ads. So that's everybody else. So the reason you're going to stand out is because you are speaking directly to their soul. He said, and then the second part of it is, he says, the subhead is to make it an easy 1, 2, 3-step system. He said, I see all these video ads on YouTube that are like, take my 6-month mentoring course where I can help you make 6 figures and blah, blah, blah. He's like, ain't no one got time for a 6-month course if they don't know who you are. They don't trust you. He goes, he said, my best ad, he gave us the exact verbiage that he's running right now on YouTube is, do you want to make $1,000 in drop shipping in the next 7 days? If so, give me 15 seconds and I'll tell you my 2-step program. because just right away he said it has to be solvable quickly, and it has to be crystal clear, like 2 steps to $1,000 in 7 days. So and that was all. That's like $1 million consulting stuff. He's like, I charge like 5 figures for this type of consulting, and this is what I tell them. He's like, this is the stuff that I consult with. He said, it's that easy. That's what most people do.
What are the 2 things again?
The first thing is you have to have a deeply emotional headline, like that connects to the soul.
Oh, a good hook, yeah.
The hook has to be something. It has to be an internal problem, not an external one.
Yeah.
And then it has to be a really, really, really clear, really simple plan. He said, don't try and solve anything on social media. He's like, you can do that other places. When you get to the landing page, you can talk about bullet points and stuff like that. But in social media, you have 1.7 seconds on Facebook, and you have 5 seconds on YouTube, only because they make you watch 5 seconds of the ad.
Interesting. And the thing that I've heard is that like YouTube is like the new place to be for cheap ads, to like really kind of test and figure that out. And then once you have it kind of like figured out, then you port it over to Facebook because, ad costs are higher.
Well, that's what he thought. That's what actually made me think of it. He said the difference is, and the hard work is, that most of these 20-year-olds that I'm coaching won't do. He said, it may take me a month to dial the ad in. He said, but once I do, it's gold. He said, you get test. And he said, that's what people won't do. And especially when every time they bring a new product on or bring a new thing on, they have to do it all over again. Yeah. And it's a simple formula that it's like, that's it. That's the goal. Yeah. And of course, your stuff has to be good too, but so that's how you get people to your page. And he said right now he's paying $10 per lead to get people on the phone for his coaching course.
Damn. $10?
Dude, yeah. He's one of Russell Brunson's superstars.
What's his name?
His name is Connor. I can't pronounce his last name. He's not with Brunson either. He's been saying he's that level. He's been with Brunson before, but he's with yeah.
Because I know a bunch of like 2 comma people in the ClickFunnels community and stuff like that. So I was wondering if he's one of them. Yeah. So part of me hates this.
I know.
Part of me hates the idea that like you're just supposed to boil it down to like a 2 or 3 step thing. But the other side of me, right, the purist of me hates this. The other part of me, the guy who just wants to like market and crush and do well and all of these things, is like, I can tell you the 3 things that are important to sales to completely change how you view it, right? And maybe that's it. Like maybe I'm just like making it way harder than it needs to be. But
dude, that's your MO. You're like, this has got to be more complex. Let's split the atom here. It can't be that easy.
So that conceivably means that I could finish this course, run ads to it.
That's why we need the me's in the world. Is messaging has to be pure. It has to be simple, and that's why it's so powerful when it works. That's when you find somebody that can do it well. Because we asked him to do it for us, and he was like, "No, dude, I don't get time." But I'll tell you how to do it. Like he says, he's like, get out your notebook. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. And we're going to send him I got connected to him through Quirk. We're going to send him our ad copy and landing pages, and he's going to slice it up for us and send it back. That way. So I'll share that with y'all, because I love the people here. I will show you the slice and dice that he does to us and the feedback. And then and when we get the ad dialed in, remind me, I'll even show you. I'll take screenshots of the ad once we get it working and dialed in.
So how fired up are you right now about all this?
Yeah. So
I mean, you got to be fired up.
Oh, dude, after that call yesterday, sorry. The other thing is I watched Ford versus Ferrari yesterday. I don't know if you've watched that.
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. If you like cars at all.
Yeah, I like cars a lot.
I'm just saying in general, if you like cars at all and you like history. Oh, dude, I got off that call. I finished my thing. I turned on that movie. I went and knocked out 30 pull-ups. I was so jacked. I was just like, and I hadn't done a pull-up in a month. And I got my pull-up bar out. I was like, I got to use this energy for something good. I got not for evil. It's got to.
I think I'm going to build a pull-up and dip ring in the backyard this weekend.
Yeah.
Just because I'm tired of not training while taking notes. I'm tired of not training. I'm tired of feeling like, only to be young again.
Actually, when James told me, he's like, I just want to prepare you. This guy makes between 15 and 20 million. Because James has done work. He was part of a startup camp and built out a whole bunch of video structure. And there's a whole story behind that. But this guy went off on his own. It's been killing it. He goes, I'm just going to tell you right now, you're going to hate this. This guy makes 15 to 20 million. He's 25 years old. And he just turned 25. I knew him when he was 23.
For me, it's not the age. Like, I think.
I don't hate him. I hate you.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that at 25.
Well, but hold on though, right? So when we were 25, that was what 2005, right? Yeah, because I was 20.
Close.
I was born in 80. So yeah, so 25. There wasn't Facebook, I mean, so there's got to be some appreciation for time and tech, trends moving forward.
It's not substantiated in logic.
Yeah. It's completely irrational. I just hate the guy. Yeah. I mean, because here's the deal. I know lots of people that run an ad to a sales page that's got lots of testimonials and really good sales copy, and then a call with an enrollment counselor. And that is what that is what I do, right? Like, I find people to be that enrollment counselor, because it's honestly one of the best ways to sell anyway, because you get to come in from a position of authority and you get to frame really well of like, hey, look, this is to figure out if you're going to be the kind of person who hops in here and takes action and really moves the needle or not, because not everybody takes action, and we would rather you keep your money than spend it with us and not take action. So at the end of the conversation, I'm going to ask you, do you think you're ready to move forward or not? And if not, totally okay, because not everybody is, but that means that you'll have to reach back out later on. Mm-hmm. Frame, complete, right? Mm-hmm. And you look like a rock star, because it's like, I want to make sure that you make the right decision. I want to help you out. And you're also kind of setting this expectation of like, especially in courses, because one of the things that bothers me about courses is this idea that a lot of people are going to buy and take zero action, right? And those people with enough time are probably going to think badly about you, because they just tie their lack of action to the person who told them to go do the things that they didn't go do. Yes, you become the charlatan. Unless
you have a really good email funnel that is attached to the course after the course and with the course, because one of the things I've learned is that, like you said, 95% of people are not going to take action on the course. They'll take one or two things and think that that's going to fix everything, when most courses are a framework and you need the whole thing. Yeah. But then if you keep the email communication really close in, and you know the parts that people are going to skip, or you know the parts that people fail on, and immediately you're right there with, oh, by the way, most people fail at this part. Here's a video to help you get blah, blah, blah. You just keep that conversation massaging, you actually become even more powerful, right? Like in
That's
their
fair.
eyes.
So do you you don't run this out of a course platform? It's just like landing pages that people hit every day with like a little bit of video and some content? Dude, that's the nugget. Because there's so many people that are looking at Teachable and ClickFunnels and Kartra and Kajabi and all of these things. And man, some of them get expensive. Kajabi is expensive, in my opinion, for what you get.
It was fantastic, but it's the premium, it's the platinum. But
and Podio, and there's so many of them. But here's the deal, guys. Like, you could get into SendFox and create 8 different landing pages with the content that has a link that goes to a YouTube video or a Vimeo video, and like, you could run your course just like that. Like, it doesn't have to be any complex thing, and that's my nugget, right? Because
agreed.
Because I'm the guy who wants the perfect platform, right? I have researched and looked at Podio and Teachable and Kajabi and ClickFunnels and all these things so many times that. And I do this with everything, right? I'm just running in there to like trying to figure out the best one. The difference is, for that last 5%, that don't really matter to me
Right.
for whatever reason matter to me whenever I'm researching. So
Well, it's one of those things where unless you're teaching or doing courses all the time, like it's part of your regular routine,
mhm.
to me those platforms aren't worth it. I mean, that's why you can do it on Squarespace or WordPress or any of those places. You can just make a members area or something where
Mhm.
you have to sign up first just to get to the pages, which is just as easy. Or yeah, you can run it straight to Vimeo, like where it's you have to have a password to get in.
It could be as simple as hopping into SendFox, right? Well, which has got one of the better landing page creators. I mean, it's not super fancy and you don't get all like CSS-y with it and stuff like this, but it's the content that's important anyway,
Sure.
right? So if that's the content that's important, you can create really, really content-driven landing pages super easy inside of SendFox. And then you can tie those two emails that go out every day to the people who you're trying to like educate and help. And then on one of those things, if you want to put a video, you put a video link in there along with the content. And then you write out 5 days of content, 7 days of content, 14 days of content, and then you just build it into an automation so it sends one email each day with the right landing page and everything else and video link, and there's your course.
Yeah, and actually the way mine's set up, because I use Go High Level through John, he's my vendor or my white label or whatever, and I literally just have seven modules, 7 videos, and I have an automation set up on Go High Level. I built a landing page on Go High Level, and they land there and they open it up and they have permission because they made a purchase because I've connected it through Square or Stripe. I forget which one I used.
Nice.
So they pay, they get their email, they go to my landing page and they open it up and there's my course. And it just does that 7 days in a row. Done. Easy.
I love how hard I try to make things. Like I just love it because it's like it's got to be perfect and written. And we talk about this all the time. Perfect is the enemy of done. Go get it done, because then later on, yeah, exactly. Because here's the deal: when you get 5 people to go through that thing and give you that feedback, you now know what to improve upon based upon the feedback of the people who buy it. Right? Don't do the thing. Don't do what I would do and have lots of really great ideas that no one gives a crap about at the end of the day. Fix as Jake is always telling me, fix the problem that they're concerned about, right? Like, and this is why Jake is really good at what he does. Yeah. So
help them what they want, not what they need.
Exactly.
Tell them what they want. And the secret is you're going to teach them what they need, but the secret is tell them what they want, and then
so on the funnel call yesterday, we were talking about how to like build your value ladder, right? Of like all the things that you do that people should and would pay for, right? And the cool thing about this call is the way that they do it is they talk about their case studies of implementing the Brunson ideas and logic with their clients and stuff. And so they were just talking about, okay, cool. Like if we want to build this price point, right? And we want this to be at this price point or like average order value, AOV, how do we get to that level, right? And how do we make it so jam-packed that you can't even say no to it, right? And there is lots of little bitty things that I'm going to pull these out of my head and put like little bits of process about them, about like how to treat time as a modular thing, and how to increase your accountability and everything else like this. And man, I put out the ask yesterday, slight tangent about what does accountability mean to you on Facebook, and I'm getting some really cool like messages and thoughts and ideas about it. So if you're seeing this and you have commented on that, thank you very much. If you have an idea about what accountability means to you and you'd like to send it to me, I would love to read it, because I do plan to build like a huge old accountability guide in like all shapes and sizes, right? Doing it with a buddy, doing it on your own, the perils of not having it at all. And the best thing I've heard so far, hold on, is from my friend Travis, because he texted me this. And he says that, because we were talking about the difference between accountability and integrity, right? Because he said that accountability is just getting the shit done that you say you're going to do, which I like, right? But then I was kind of like pushing on it a little bit. I was like, okay, And so then he says something about the difference between integrity and accountability is that with accountability, you ask/have others help you achieve those goals. I said, is that an either or thing? Can you be accountable and full of integrity? And he said, well, yeah. So we kind of went back and forth about that. And he ended up saying accountability just feels like something involves someone else either holding you accountable or that you feel an obligation to uphold your integrity for. Right? Because we say these things out loud, right? And then they become these things that we need to be consistent to, like it's wired into our heads. So, when you say it out loud, there's now this like integrity drive behind it, and then accountability is making sure that it gets done because you said it out loud to somebody else.
Yeah, I like a whole lot of that.
Yeah, I do too.
But you can be accountable to yourself too, right?
You absolutely can. I mean,
it doesn't require someone else. It just makes it more effective.
Correct. Yeah, there's and in this guide, I'm going to talk a lot about traps, which are little bitty things that you do to like force yourself into good behaviors. And I'm going to talk about micro habits. I'm going to talk about like one-on-one accountability and mastermind accountability, and like how to have really good accountability conversations, based upon the stuff. Some of the concepts that I've read about in 40X and in the 12-week year and some of the stuff like this, because there's right ways and wrong ways to do it, in my opinion.
Sure.
But yeah, that call yesterday was really impactful. That I've got so many little things that I do that have got value, and that when I share them with someone, they're like, "Oh, that's going to help me," and stuff like that. And so that will eventually become part of my value ladder, right? And things that I offer about. But we're kind of going through the process of fleshing that out, and it's kind of interesting to do.
It is. And one of the things I'm working towards the fall is this business coaching program where. Yes. I help take people backwards, like you're talking about. Is all these people? Most people are out here on their offers and things like that, tweaking like the AOV and like all these different things when their message sucks, right? They're not even getting enough people to that page to test if that tweak they make is good enough, right?
Absolutely.
So hopefully here in about 60 days, we're gonna have a program that's going to be able to help people like reset that simple foundation of what's the pain, what's the offer, what's the solution, are they all congruent? Are we testing to make sure this is as powerful as it can be? Because once you have all of that, what most people miss is everyone's looking for a widget, right? Or everyone's looking for a new trap, or everyone's looking for something. And most people, even the big boys, don't have this right. This foundation is not like the best it could be.
Absolutely.
It never will be, but it can be the focus of your marketing. Is this part right here. Because all this extra stuff is scale. And I talk about that all the time, especially when I speak. It's one of the major things I speak about is scale is stupid for most businesses. Most people don't have their foundations right. And until you have your foundations right, you're literally pissing away money to scale something that's not good at its core. It cracks in the foundation.
Sure. But scale is sexy, Jake. Everybody wants to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Super sexy. That's why it gets all the airtime. I'm the boring old English lady with her cup of tea going, but you gotta keep the God. I'm Dwight, like, at the house checking the railings on the stairway,
Mike, I'm curious, why do you think you're not good at self-accountability?
Well, let's you and I talk about that real quick. While Mike's formulating his answer. Why are you not good at self-accountability? What makes good self-accountability to you? We're having an hour day on a Thursday. Look at this.
Yeah, I know.
It's not stopping.
Well, let me think about that, and then let's talk about it tomorrow whenever we go our kind of like longer time. Because, I need to think. Yeah. I can't be concise and also verbose at the same time.
Okay, cool. Well, Mike, come back tomorrow. Tell us about accountability.
Or Mike, send me a DM, right? Yep. If you're curious about it and you want some help on it, I would love to dig in a little bit more about why you struggle with it, because it might just be that you don't have deadlines. It might be that you're not really prioritizing your time as like the very first level of this. Because if you put 45 things into your week, you're not going to get 45 things done. Like, you're just not. So,
I would say self-accountability is largely about head mindset and trust.
Being really honest with yourself, right? Yeah. Like, there are things, right? And Jake and I talk about this all the time. It's not, there's no guts in me writing a Sherpa, doing a daily value post, having my office hours, having my role play group and stuff like that. So I don't get any credit for doing those things. They're just things that are non-negotiable that I have to do each week. So our BIL bets are around the things that we're going to fight and move away from, just as like almost on like an instinctual level.
Right.
There's always something that is more interesting that comes. Yeah, man, absolutely. There's always yeah. But
we'll talk about that tomorrow because that's something we all definitely battle with. Me and John included, very much so.
Absolutely.
All right, Bill. Well,
all right, Bill.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. Have a fantastic day.